Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale
Srimate Bhakti Swami
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachari Shatarine
Namaste
Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra, Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra, Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra, Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra, Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Gaur Haribol, Haribo, Haribo, Gora Haribo. Jai Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki Jai.
Jaya Jaya Gaurachandra Arati ka Shobha. Jaya Gaurachandra Arati ka Shobha. Janavi tatavane Jagamana lobha. Janavi tatavane Jagamana lobha.
Janavi tatavani Jagamana lobha.
Dakine Nitai chan Vame gadadhara.
Dakini Nitai chan Bhame Garadhara.
Dakine Nitai chan Vame gadadhara.
Nitai chan Bhame Gadadhara.
Nikati adeta shrini Vasa chatradhara. Nikati
adeta shrini Vasa chatradhara.
Nikati adeta shrini Vasa chatradhara.
Nikati adeta shrini Vasa chatradhara.
Boshi ache Gaurachan Ratna Simhasane.
Bochi ache Gaurachan Ratna Simhasane.
Boshi ache Gaurachan Ratna Simhasane.
Bochi ache Gaurachan से भसाने
आरती कोरे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेवा गाने
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 नारा हरि आदि कोरे चामरा दुलाया
नारा हरि आदि कोरे
हरि आदि कोरे चामरा दुलाया
नारा हरि कोरे चमरा धुलाया
संजय मुकुंद वासु दोषादि गाय
संजय
मुकुंद वासु दोषादि गाय
संजय मुकुंद भासु गोसारे गाय
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे भजे करताला
शंका भजे घंटा भजे भजे करताल
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे भजे करताला
शंका भजे घंटा भजे भजे करताल
माधुरा मृदंग भाजे परमारसाला
मधुरा मृदंगा भजे परमरसाला
माधुरा मृदंग बाजे परमरसाला
मधुरा मृदंगा भजे परमरसाला
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर माधुर माधुर
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर माधुर माधुरा बाजे
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol.
Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Gaura Haribol.
Baho Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujala.
Baho Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujwala.
Baho Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujala.
Baho Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujala.
Gala Deshe Vanamala Kore Jala Mala.
Galadeshe Bhanamala Kore Jalamala.
Galadeshe Vanamala Kore Jalamala.
Galadeshe Bhanamala Kore Jalamala.
Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada.
Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada.
Oh Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada.
Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada.
Bhakati Venoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada.
Bhakati Venoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada.
Bhakati Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada.
Bhakati Venoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada.
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaurachandra Arati Kashobha.
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 Jana Vitatavani Jagamana Lobha.
Jana Vitatavani Jagamana Lobha.
Jana Vitatavani Jagamana Lobha.
Jana Vitatavani Jagamana Lobha.
Gaurangera Rotika Shobha Jagajana Mana Lobha.
Gaurange Arotika Shobha Jaga Jagamana Lobha.
Gaurangera Rotika Shobha Jagajana Mana Lobha.
Gaurange Arotika Shobha Jaga Jagamana Lobha.
Gaurangera Rotika Shobha Jagajana mana lobha
Gaurange Aroti Kashobha Jaga Jaga Manalobha
Gaurange Arati Kashobha Jagajana mana lobha
Gaurange
Arati Kashobha Jagajana mana lobha Gaurange Arati Kashobha Jagajana mana lobha
Gaurange Kashobha Jaga Jaga Manalobha
Jaga Jana mana lobha
Jaga Jaga Manalobha
Jaga Jana mana lobha
Jaga Jaga Manalobha
Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Gaura Haribo
Nitai Gaur Haribo 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 Gaura Haribo
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra
Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadishatarine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatari Shatarine
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
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 Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Oh Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita
Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra. Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra. Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram,
Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram.
Jaya Shri Gaurachandra, Jaya Shri Gaurachandra, Shri Gaurachandra, Jaya Shri Gaurachandra,
Jaya Shri Gaurachandra, Jaya Shri Gaurachandra, Jaya Shri Gaurachandra, Jaya Shri Gaurachandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra, Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra,
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra, Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya
everyone loudly.
Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra, Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra. Everybody.
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra, Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya
Jaya
Nitai
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Ki
Jai.
Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Ki
Jai.
Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Ki
Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajakacarya Stotar Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajakacarya Stotar Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunrada Kunigir Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purusham Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Dev Maharani Ki Jai. Gaurachandra Ki Jai. Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra 13th installation anniversary Ki Jai. Shri Shri Nitai Gaurachandra Ki Jai. Samveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachadhi Shatarini Namaste Narashingaya
Namaste Narasingaya
Praladha Ladadadaine Hiranyakashe Purvakshaha
Hiranyakashe Purvakshaha
Shilatanakana Kalaine
Shilatankana Kalaye
Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha
Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha
Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha
Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha
Bahir Nrsimha Hridaya Nrsimha Narasingamarim Sharanam Prapade
Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapade
Tava Kara Kamalavare Naka Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanno Vringa Keshavarita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagari Share Jai Jagari Share Jai Jagari Share
Vakara Kamalavare Naka Adhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tano Vringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Jaya Nrsimhare Jaya Nrsimhare Jaya Nrsimhare Jaya Nrsimhare
Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev
Jaya Bhakta Prahalad Jaya Bhakta Prahalad Jaya Bhakta Prahalad Jaya Bhakta Prahalad
Jaya Bhakta Prahalad Jaya Bhakta Prahalad
Bhakta Prahalad Jaya Bhakta Prahalad Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai Bhakta Shrimani Prahalad Maharaj ki jai Hare Krishna. So we want to welcome all the devotees who are joining us here physically at the temple, and for many of you who are joining in virtually. We welcome you this evening to the most auspicious 13th installation anniversary of our Lordship's Sri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra. Sri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki! So for the last 2 days, we would have had wonderful kirtan, bhajans, glorification of their lordships. Last evening we heard a little history of how they made their appearance here at Lot 1, 1st Street, UG Road. And today marks exactly 13 years ago since their installation, their Pran Pratishta ceremony was performed. So this evening, it will be no different from the last 2 sessions. We'll be having kirtan presentations already. For those of you who are joining in earlier, there was wonderful artik to their lordships and offerings. As you can see, the altar is very elaborately decorated with flowers, fresh flowers, fruits. So devotees have been bringing in and making these offerings. So at this point in time, we are going to have a very special talk, a very special presentation, and it will be done by no other than His Holiness Bhakti Mark Swami Maharaj. Hari Bol! So we like to let you know that Maharaj was here 13 years ago as part of the installation ceremony of their lordships, and from that time to now he has been visiting the Caribbean, especially Guyana, where he would go on padayatras with their lordships. So as the walking monk, it is always very inspiring, enlightening to have him in kirtan and padayatras, to have him to go out with their lordships. For many years, continuously that has been going on until the COVID, the pandemic came a few years ago. But nevertheless, we are very fortunate, very honored to have Maharaj with us this evening, to have his association through Zoom. We're not able to have his physical association, but we are very happy to have his association through Zoom. We'll get his darshan and also hear from him. So let us all welcome Maharaj in our usual way of loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Hari Bol. Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much to Sachi Sutrabhu and all other Vaishnavas there. I hope you can hear me okay.
Can you give us 1 minute? We have some technical issues we want to take care of in 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Just let me know. I'll sit here pretty until you're ready.
Thank you, Maharaj. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Maharaj, you can begin.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yes, Maharaj, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm a little worried about our connection, our reception. If I feel it goes weak, I'll just block off the video part, and hopefully that will give us some strength. Because, to be honest with you, since I plugged in, it wasn't sounding so well, my connection with you. But we'll try our best. Thank you very much. Nice to hear of the chanting there with your devotees over there. I'm not sure how many people are in the temple room, but I know that everything's filled with the energy of Shri Shri Gaurachandra Prabhu's Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Mahaprabhu. Thank you so much. And I'll just start Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilita Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you. Do you want for me to leave a little period for questions and answers? Is that the intent here?
Marge, really look at the time and see how it goes.
Okay. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Give me some kind of indication to wind down if I have to. All right, so super. Yesterday was the disappearance of Lochana Das Thakur, and he is one of the great followers of Mahaprabhu and his associate Nityananda Prabhu. So I'd just like to give a little biographical sketch of him, unless if someone else has done that during your 3-day festival. Otherwise, I will simply adjust. But just let me know. No, it's enough. We already did it. Do something else. I'm ready to make a paradigm shift for you all. I wanted to say I do miss you all, and it is unfortunate that we can't be together for obvious reasons. But I remember when I was there 2 years ago, and during Guru Puja time, particularly, there was something in the air that there's a virus, a disease, coming around. So it's when I first heard about the pandemic, and so it's kind of an anniversary for me. Not the best anniversary, mind you. Okay, so Lochana Das Thakur, just let's give a little fun history about him. he took birth in the family of physicians who resided in the village of Kogram, which is in the district of Bardhaman. His guru was Narahari Sarkar Thakur. Another thing we want to take note of is that he was born in 1520 AD, and that was 34 years after the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lochana Das Thakur wrote a biography on Chaitanya, which is entitled Shri Chaitanya Mangala, and he also wrote many songs. He admits, "I am the servant of Thakur Shri Narahari, who's the master of my life." So he's praising his guru. His father's name was Shri Kamalakara Das. His mother's name was Shri Sadananda. He was the only son, only child, and he was raised in his maternal grandfather's home. His education was completed there. He enjoyed the good fortune of meeting the devotees of Lord Gauranga. He was married at a very young age, and from his youth, he was very attached to Sri Gaura Sundar, and consequently very disinterested in material life. Though he was surrounded by family, friends, and society, in his youth, he spent the major part of his life at the Guru's Shrikand, where he learned how to do kirtan. And kirtan is so important for all of us, isn't it? How to express our glories to the Lord. Because kirtan, according to the Bhagavad Gita's definition, is that it's a glorification of Krishna. Sing nice things. In fact, I was asked, give us some glorification, give us some pastimes. So he wrote about Mahaprabhu and a few other significant points. Previously in Bengal, the poets, and he's one of them, they used to compose sacred songs and verses in different forms of classic rhymes and rhythmic meters called Panchali. And the Panchali style of composition was especially used for glorifying the Lord. Lochana Das Thakur used the Panchali form of verse meter and composing his famous work, Shri Chaitanya Mangala. And it goes on like that. Vrindavan Das Thakur's Chaitanya Bhagavat was originally called Chaitanya Mangala. It is said that Lochana Das Thakur and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gave it the name Chaitanya Bhagavat. Just a little bit of feedback or information on Lochana Das Thakur. It's significant because his fantastic song, which I first heard in Atlanta, Georgia, 1975, is composed by him, and it moved us very much. And I know with this group here in Guyana, I talked a little bit about that time. It was 1975 in February, and Prabhupada was there. Wow. And myself and two other devotees, we were part of a traveling party. We went down south in the States because the winter in Canada is something else. It's a beautiful, magical, wonderful world of snow, which is crystalline and which has such beautiful, as I say, magical features. But it was advantageous for us to go south of the border where it was a little bit warmer. So our little Sankirtan troop, we decided, we'll just follow Prabhupada. We'll go to Atlanta. Why? Because he was going to be there. So we followed him along. And Prabhupada was telling us about his time with his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta. And that's in Kolkata. And his friend Naren said, let's go and see this special nice saintly person. Prabhupada at that time was a little reluctant, but when Prabhupada was sitting on the Vyasasana there in Georgia, telling us the story to me, to see Bhaktisiddhanta. Now, Prabhupada was a little bit skeptical about sadhus because he saw double standards by so-called gurus. Some people were dressed in saffron and not, let's say, coming up to the mark. One man who was in the neighborhood, he would go and dress in a saffron cloth, go to another part of the city and beg all day, and that's the way he made his money. And so it was things like that that was a little bit of a turnoff for Prabhupada and his own father, Gaura Mohan Dey.
Hare Krishna,
And then
Maharaj.
Prabhupada,
Hare Krishna.
yes,
Yes,
Yep.
Maharaj. Can you please turn off the video for now?
okay, will do. Okay. Okay, is that sounding better for you?
Yes, Maharaj. You can continue.
Okay, great. So I just have a homely face anyway, so you don't need to look at me. But Lochana Das Thakur wrote this song, which starts off Parama Karuna, and it's Prabhupada taught us the song, and he also played mridanga at that time, which was very rare. He really enjoyed his stay in Atlanta because there were the prominent deities are Gaura and Nitai, and Prabhupada was liking the space very much. He also looked up at the ceiling and had, square mirrors. I guess that was kind of a big deal for him. And he just liked that feature very much, So the song, which is entitled Shri Shri Gaura Nitai Gaya, starts off like this: Parama Karuna Nitai Nitai Gaurachandra. So therefore we have Nitai Gaurachandra, right? And it is a song glorifying these two lords who had so much mercy to give, and mercy in the form of things to do. People are oftentimes wondering, one of the biggest problems socially these days is that, what am I going to do myself? I'm just sort of hanging around. I'm overthinking. And overthinking it's actually a problem. It can lead to mental situations and depressions and all that. So people seem to have a lot of time on their hands. So here we're talking about two great personalities, Nitai and Gaurachandra, who offered a great program where you could keep extremely busy and active in the, like a party, basically, a party kind of dynamic. And that's what Prabhupada gave to us. He gave something extremely positive. So as a kind of interesting hand-me-down, the Gaura and Nitai, who are contemporaries and who are both Krishna and Balaram manifest in this Kali Yuga, they offer this program of joy and a program of incredible inclusion. So that involved deity worship, yes, and since we're honoring the 13th anniversary of the installation of their lordships, it did involve some kind of rituals and so on like that. And that is an integral part of our culture, no doubt. And another big part is the prasadam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself personally went around with his own lotus hands, and he would go down the row of devotees who were taking prasadam, and you can imagine what that might be like, what a humble gesture that is, coming from the Supreme Personality of God and from his own hands, offering food to everybody. 500 years ago, this was his practice. And then, of course, there's the chanting. And because he's lauded, he and Nityananda are lauded for, making everyone feel like part of this spiritual family. They had their interaction with Jagai and Madai, and that was very interesting. Most of you know the story. The two dacoits were wreaking havoc, making a lot of fuss, creating a scene. That was pretty regular. And Nityananda spotted them and he said, oh, let's do something here. Why don't we, and his companion was Haridas Thakur at the time, let's see what we can do and engage these two wild men in Krishna's service. Let's see if they'll take to the chanting process. So there was an attempt made, and the two wild men didn't take too kindly to their approach, and they sort of sent the saintlies off, that is Nityananda and Haridas Thakur. And so Nityananda was kind of the brave one out of the two. Said on the second day, say, we're going to try it again. And I'm going to see what mileage I can get with that. And wouldn't it be nice if we could convince these two wild criminals to participate in Krishna Bhakti? Wouldn't that be like, a glory that would come down the way of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It would be, as we say in English, a feather in Mahaprabhu's cap, And so Nityananda Prabhu went boldly and asked them, can you please chant the names of Hari, the names of God? It would be so nice if you could do that. And one of them, out of the two, there was Jagai and Madai. Madai was the more violent one, and if you can't remember which one it was, and just think of Madai, the one that was mad, the one that was more mad. So he hurled at Nityananda's forehead a piece of sharp-edged terracotta, like a clay pot, and that caused some injury. Blood came forward, and Mahaprabhu, that is Chaitanya, came forward. He heard about it. He was nearby. News got to him, and so he rushed to the scene of the incident, and he was ready to hurl his Sudarshan Chakra on the offender, that is Madai, and Madai took a humble position suddenly, and it was actually Nityananda who pleaded with Mahaprabhu, please don't do anything. You're known to be the deliverer of the most fallen, so please don't become violent, or let's take the soft approach. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his jodi was basically being tugged at, and the hands, the warm lotus-like hands of Nityananda were at the ankles of the Lord. Nityananda was begging Mahaprabhu, don't slay them, don't kill them, spare them, give them a chance. So he did give them a chance. And, that's the beautiful aspect of Chaitanya and Nityananda. They were into installing people, like we're talking about installing deities, which happened 13 years ago. And, it's as important, if not more important, that we try to install people into our temples. That means not necessarily with a ritual, but with our kindness, lure them over and install them, in a sense, as members of our spiritual family. Now, of course, with COVID, this is the common line these days, due to COVID or because of COVID, blah, 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 blah. We are seeing that it is necessary for us to appreciate that people are important. And Mahaprabhu's mission and his whole mandate was to get the man and to get the woman and to get the people and make their date with the Supreme Personality of God. And their intent was to sway people away from bad intent, negative activities. And so this is what I think is an important message to establish, is that Mahaprabhu is very much into numbers and people and that kind of participation into the Sankirtan culture, the culture of making noise, you can say. I've been to Orissa, and people make we'll call it beautiful noise, if you will, with the judges, or we'll call them bumpers. They're like the cartels, but they come together, and in Orissa they make beautiful music, like several people all playing in synchronized way, and it's that kind of, making music that makes life quite wonderful and tolerable. I've taken notice and observed that people in their workplace, they love for there to be music played. Like you go into a cab driver's vehicle, and he'll likely be playing music, his brand of music. And anywhere where it's on an assembly line, or people do that. And I still see images of, not that I've actually seen it, but in the deep south in the U.S., the slaves from Africa, they would, just to make it everything a deplorable situation tolerable, they would sing in sync and sing beautiful gospel spiritual songs in most cases. And this way they're showing their sense of rhythm, harmony, and keeping on the beat. And it's almost like a breath. It's almost like an exhalation. And that is Mahaprabhu's program. It's chanting. We are reading about Lochana Das Thakur following a particular meter, Panchali style. And we're not so familiar with that. And maybe one day we can. There's a little bit of a worry that the mature generation of people who are expert at traditional kirtan are dying off, and they may lead to extinction. And a lot of holy music is being heard. I think maybe that's popular in Trinidad. Chutney is, as far as I understand, it's a food, a side dish, but it's also like a festival, party time, get a little deranged, get a little tipsy and all that kind of stuff. But the reason why we say that Mahaprabhu is so different and his companion, Nityananda, is they were revolutionary because they brought something that's transformative, that alters a person's way of thinking and a way of doing and being. So in order to accomplish this, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was compared to a gardener who was reaping the harvest, taking the fruit of the tree of love of God. And for him to accomplish this, he needs people. He can't do it all alone, because the tree of love of God, we're speaking allegorically, it is full of fruit, so much fruit. And he wants to get it out to everybody, but he can't handle it all himself. So he asks for his associates, Sangha Pandrishta Parshadam, Yagyai Sankirtana Prayayar, Yajantahi Sumedasa. In the Bhagavatam, there's a prediction that Krishna will come to this world as Chaitanya, and he will bring his Sangha, his associates, his buddies, his friends. And so those friends are, okay, just 1 second. Hey, hold on. Okay, I'm back again. Sorry, little emergency there. Okay, so the point is all about engaging in the Sankirtan and inclusiveness. I think this is a very important word to really grasp and embrace our heart with. Mahaprabhu was very much into everyone coming together under this umbrella of love of God. And he wanted everyone to participate in the gardening and the harvesting of this fruit, the fruit of love of God. And that's why I say installing deities is important, but just as important is the installation of devotees, new people, new faces. We should always get excited when someone new comes around, right? they come with some anticipation. People come with some genuine interest. We can call them sincere seekers of the truth. And there's something a little bit missing in their life, so they feel, let me see if a little bit of the spark of spirituality will do it for me and make my life holistic and complete. And so that is the formula for challenging the ill effects of age of Kali in our lives. Nowadays, rappers, in the music world, they're very popular, they're very common. And I'm sure some of you have listened to rappers like there's Eminem, the boy from Detroit, and he's a white dude, but apparently he's respected by all the other fellows. It's kind of like black music world, but Eminem, he's kind of a musical genius. What comes out of his mouth. And of course, there's foul language too. So, as devotees, we don't need to go there. Maybe that was part of our lifestyle prior, but we don't really need to do that. Maybe you could pick up on some rap rhythms and but make it devotional, turn it into something devotional. Another fellow is Drake, and he's from Toronto. He's from a few blocks away from where I am here in the temple. And, I listen to the stuff. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure, but it doesn't do anything for me. What really does soften my heart is hearing Prabhupada. And Alojana Das Thakur was talking about when Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya, and Nityananda went traveling, they went to the Jharkhand forest and they melted the hearts of the animals that are the ones that are natural adversaries towards each other. When the chanting was done on a pure platform by these two personalities, it could have the effect of even melting stones. Stones are something very hard that, in the Middle East, some cultures, they stone people if they are found you've done something criminal-like or you've been some kind of vilifier. So they throw rocks and stones and stone them to death. It's very barbaric, for my estimation. It's got to be a better way to address any problems like that. Give a warning maybe, and so on like that. Yeah. So Mahaprabhu and Chaitanya and Nityananda, they are close companions. And we honor them very much for doing such tremendous work in this day and age for us. I would like to share with you, because it's going to be Nityananda's appearance around the corner, I'd like to share with you a poem that I wrote a year ago about Nityananda, in particular, of the two persons, Nityananda and Chaitanya. Nityananda has the reputation of being the more compassionate out of the two. So I thought I would just read that to you now, and I'll take my time on it. And hopefully it'll capsulize at least the personality of Nityananda. So I'm just calling this best avatar. He is indeed by far the mercy avatar, for he bore the blood during the love flood. As companion to Gaura, life was, less is more, distributing a wealth for everyone's health. Committed to the name and establishing its fame, he went door to door in the effort to explore. He went with Haridas, many gains, no loss, with interesting reception, prepared for any rejection. Jagai, Madai, there in queue, the loud obnoxious two met more than their match when Nitai did dispatch. Totally drunk as hell, they swayed, they fell. Nitai had a thought, these men shall not rot. They should be given a chance to sing and to dance to the ultimate sound with head up, feet to the ground. If they do succeed, that's all we need. Gaura's mission is one. To home we will run. Unknowing such a plus, the two nasties raised a fuss, struck the head of Nitai as if to say goodbye. But Nitai did stand up, told Gaur not to chop, the thugs' lives to spare. Hearts turned then and there. The two lowly drunks practically became monks, like a victorious Skanda. Credit to Nityananda. And that is the poem that I wanted to offer to you. But Sachi Sutta, is that okay? Do we still have...
Maharaj, can you please turn on your
Yep.
video now?
Okay, let's go back to seeing. Okay, how's that?
Amazing, wonderful.
Okay, great. Prabhu, I mean, if you like, I would do one more poem in connection to Chaitanya, and it's a sort of a rewrite with rhyme on the Shikshastakam. Would that be appropriate now? And would I have the time?
Yes, Maharaj. You can please go ahead.
Okay, so I'm calling this Chaitanya's verses. Okay? You can hear me okay still?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, here we go. Chaitanya's verses. Victory to the sacred sound that cleanses all around. There's filth in the heart, piled up from the start. Many births of desires have burst up like fires. Therefore, the kirtan charge is for humanity at large. It's a practice so cool, like the rays of the moon. It's the fruit of wisdom with joy that's arisen. So sweet to the taste, we go there in great haste. You who are divine, this sound is sublime. With thousands of names, they all are the same. In them, all energies are invested. The names are tested. Rules, not hard and fast. It's easy to pass. Out of sheer kindness, the sound is sure to bind us. Attractive, accessible, approachable, doable. But what is most unfortunate, I can't always appreciate. To approach the sound, one must be humbly bound, like the straw in the street. One has to be meek, like a tall, stout tree, tolerant as can be. I'm telling you, brother, it's the ego we have to smother. RESPECT. Respect is how it should be. With the right attitude, the constant sound has platitude. Oh, power behind the universe. I'm not looking to be fabulously rich, not to be overwhelmed by the lustful itch, nor entangled in the name fame hitch. I'll have my bhakti list, though births persist. O son of Nanda, I love you, and I will assist you. But I'm in an ocean, drowning without devotion. Pick me up from this ocean of death before my last breath. While those lotus feet are handsome, place me there like an atom. When will the time come when tears of love will run and flow so constantly while chanting in ecstasy? When will my voice choke up in the chorus of shake-up? When will hairs stand on end as we chant to transcend? Govinda is your name. Separation makes me insane. One moment lasts forever, like 12 years or whatever. Tears come like rain. Your absence gives such pain. This vacancy in life creates so much strife. But I know only you as my lover. There is no other. Even when it's rough, I'll never have enough of heartfelt embrace, or when we find no trace of you in your freedom to act. So I'll state the fact that I love you. I love you. I always will love you. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya's verse.
Haribol.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a poetry. Because it's COVID, I can't organize and direct any plays, and I can't draw audiences. Therefore, we've been doing some poetry in its place. Jai. Thank you. So to Lojana Das Thakur, and also to Shishira Shishi Nitai Gaura Sundar, I would like to, Chandra, sorry. Chandra, I would like to offer my humble respects and beg for their mercy that I will be able to come over there sometime soon and kind of like, walk along the seawall and get splashed a little bit and do some japa and, sometimes meet with some of those guys with their little birds doing their competitive thing and catching the ocean breeze. And watching the rain come down like incredible buckets, and then stopping and the sun shining for 5 minutes, and then rain coming down. At least that's what happens when I'm there. We miss you all very much, and I think the main thing about festival, they're very inclusive, and we really have to sort of rack our brains to figure out what we can do to bring people of different, let's say, demographical backgrounds, to get them involved in some way, and that Krishna will send up some nice people that we can install. And our way of installing people: shave up, put on tilak, put on dhoti. Here's how you put it on, or sorry, in that case. Here's the mantra. Here's the prasadam, here's your associates, and everyone should have a great experience once they come to the temple. It should be just something that they'll never forget in their life. It should leave people with sweet dreams, and nothing but sweet dreams. Hare Krishna. Joy. So Sachi Sutta, I was told 45 minutes or so. So it's the point of 44, and is there anything else you'd like me to do? I am your servant.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
If anyone has any questions, now's the opportunity.
Yes, we would have loved to take some questions, but we would like to, with your permission, we would like to go on. And we want to say a very big thank you to you, Maharaj, for taking your time off and to be here with us and to share. You shared wonderful biography of Lochan Das Thakur, your memories of being in Prabhupada's association in Atlanta, and also how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, they are here for giving mercy. They have brought music and the holy names, so much so that they want everyone to join their party. And you also stressed on we should not only focus on installation of deities, but installation of new devotees. And it was very mesmerizing, it was very ecstatic to hear the two poems glorifying Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, rewrite of Shri Shikshashtakam. So thank you very much for your presentation, for your association. It was very inspiring, very blissful to have you as part of this festival this evening. So,
And such is, could I say one more thing? I remember when the little card was made it was being assembled here in Canada, in Toronto in particular, which you used in the Padayatra. I hope you still have it.
yes.
I thought it was a very nice model. It had some snazzy features to it, and I remember being on that first Padayatra as well. And I also recall the installation very much as well. The temple was in more simple circumstances, and by Krishna's grace and by Prabhupada Dev and family and army, everyone was able to put together a real nice building. And all glories to you all. You're amazing devotees. You produce, which is amazing. And I'm sure Prabhupada's smiling on you all for your great devotional efforts. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, once again. So at this point in time, we would like to, we'll be having another short presentation, and this presentation will be done by one of our own. So for the last 2 weeks or so, we are blessed to have the association of Her Grace Haripriya Mataji. Haribol! Mataji is coming from Alachua and might be very surprising for each and every one of you. If you only know, I will tell you, you know someone who is connected to to Mataji, and you'll be so surprised, you know, whose association we're having. So Haripriya Mataji would have joined Krishna Consciousness here in Guyana. She is originally from Sibel village, Borbis, and she joined Panihati Temple in the year 1980. And by association with devotees such as Paramatma Prabhu, Agrani Prabhu, easily she got connected. She is a great Sankirtan warrior over the years, distributing Prabhupada's books here in Guyana, Trinidad. After some years, she would have migrated to the US, where she served in different temples, Radha Govinda Mandir, New York, Florida. And later on, she settled up in Alachua. She would have got married. And also, she has 2 wonderful sons, Kana and Sachisuta Prabhu. Not this Sachisuta Das, but the famous Sachisuta Prabhu, world-renowned Kirtan Wala, who has been traveling and doing Kirtan. This is Sachisuta Prabhu's mother, Haripriya Mataji. Haribol! So we're very happy to welcome Mataji to our temple here, ISKCON of Guyana Hare Krishna Study Center. Welcoming her back to Guyana from since 2005 to now, so many years. So over to Mataji.
Thank you, Sachi Sutta. You're like my son too. I'm not a good speaker, but I will try. Prabhupada, they've put me on the spot here. I'm just going to repeat what Srila Prabhupada says. I was trying to think what to say, and then I wrote to some of my friends who are all Prabhupada disciples, and I'm like, these devotees want me to speak. What should I say? So they said, they gave me a few pointers. So they said, just speak what Srila Prabhupada said. So I Googled it and I found some stuff. Srila Prabhupada said, by serving the deities, we understand ourselves to be his servant, the deity's servant, with practical service to offer. Lord Krishna is a person, and when we care for him, he reciprocates with us by purifying our hearts and bring us closer in our relationship with him. Srila Prabhupada explains that deity worship is authorized by God, while idol worship is not. He used the analogy of the mailbox. He says, if you put mail in a government mailbox, it will get to its destination. But if you make up a mailbox, stick it in front of your yard, and you put your mail, it will never get to where it's supposed to go. I was also reading about Lord Chaitanya, one of his name is Gauramani. It's a name of Lord Chaitanya that means the most beautiful golden jewel. Lord Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya to experience that love that Srimati Radharani feels for him. So when I looked at Nitai Parama Karuna Nitai Sri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra, I see Gauramani because they are so golden. They're better than gold. And also, what Bhakti Mark Swami was speaking about Srila Prabhupada in Atlanta, I want to read that lecture that Srila Prabhupada gave when he went to Atlanta on February 28, 1975. Srila Prabhupada. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind. Parama Karuna Paudujana. Two lords, Nitai Gaurachandra, Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are very kind, you see. They have appeared just to reclaim the fallen souls of this age. So they are most kind. They are more kind than Krishna. Krishna is also very kind. He came to deliver. But Krishna demands that first of all you surrender. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even does not demand surrender. He is so kind. And in parentheses, it says Srila Prabhupada's voice was choking when he was giving this lecture in front of, I think the deities' name are Nitai Gaurachandra in Atlanta, and they are so beautiful. And so take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be happy. And Srila Prabhupada said, thank you very much. And by the end, he was weeping. So if Prabhupada's weeping, telling us, begging us to serve Lord Nityananda and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we should do that. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Haripriya Mataji. So we will be moving on. We'll be having the chanting of the bhajan that both Maharaj and Mataji mentioned. The theme song of their lordships. So we want to invite Hari Kirtan, who will lead us in the chanting of this beautiful. So we'll be reading the translation to this bhajan first, as the Kirtan walls are getting ready. So this is a beautiful composition by Lochan Das Thakur. The translation goes as follows. The two lords, Nitai Gaurachandra, are very merciful. They are the essence of all incarnations. The specific significance of these incarnations is that they introduced a process of chanting and dancing that is simply joyful. My dear brother, I request that you just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm conviction and faith. If one wants to be Krishna conscious by this process, one has to give up his engagement in sense gratification. One simply has to chant Hare Krishna, Hari Hari without any motive. My dear brother, just try and examine this. Within the three worlds, there is no one like Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityananda. Their merciful qualities are so great that upon hearing them, even birds and bees cry and stones melt. But Lochan Das regrets that I am entrapped by sense gratification, since I have no attraction for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Then Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, is punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted by this movement. Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki jai. Shri Lochan Das Thakur ki jai.
Parama Karuna Dujana Nitai Gaurachandra. Everyone loudly.
Parama Karuna Dujana Nitai Gaurachandra.
Everyone again loudly together.
Parama Karuna Dujana Nitai Gaurachandra.
Again, with all the love we can muster in our hearts, gazing at the lotus feet and the faces of Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra, let's sing that one more time, very loudly.
Parama Karuna Dujana Nitai Gaurachandra.
Sabai avatar Sara Shiromani Kevalananda Kanda.
Sabavatar Sarashiromani Kevalananda Kanda.
Kevalananda Kanda.
Kevalananda Kanda.
Parama Karuna Dujana Nitai Gaurachandra. Everyone loudly.
Parama Karuna Dujana Nitai Gaurachandra.
Sabai avatara Sara Shiromani Kevalananda Kanda.
Sabhavatara Sarashiromani Kevalananda Kanda.
Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudhridha Vishwasa Kore.
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 Vishaya Chariya Sera Se Majiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari.
Vishaya Chariya Sera Se Majiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari.
Vishaya Chariya Sera Se Majiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari.
Vishaya Chariya সেরাসে মাঝিয়া মুখে বলো হরি হরি
Parama Karuna pahu dui jana Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna pahu dui jana Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन मोना दयाल दाता
देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवने एमना धोयाल धाता
पाशु पखी जुरे पाशना विधरे शुनि जर गुण गाता
पशु पाखी जोरे पाषाण विधरे शुनि जरा गुण गाता
पाशु पखी जुरे पाशना विधरे शुनि जर गुण गाता
पशु पाखी जोरे पाषाण विधरे शुनि जरा गुण गाता
Parama Karuna pahu dui jana Nitai Gaurachandra Parama Karuna
pahu dui jana Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
संसारे माझिया रोहिले पोरिया से पारे नाहिलो आशा
संसार माझिया रोहिल पोरिया से पारे नाहिलो आशा
संसारे माझिया रोहिले पोरिया से पारे नाहिलो आशा
संसार माझिया रोहिल पोरिया से पारे नाहिलो आशा
अपना कर्मा भुंजाए श्यामना कहोए लोचन दासा
आपन कर्म बुंजाए शामन काहुए लोचन दासा
अपना कर्मा भुंजाए श्यामना कहोए लोचन दासा
आपन कर्म बुंजाए शामन काहुए लोचन दासा
कहोए लोचन दासा
काहुए लोचन
कहोए लोचन दासा
काहुए लोचन
Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna Pahudujana Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna Pahudujana Nitai Gaurachandra
Shamavatara Sarashironi Kevalanandakanda
Samavatara Sarashironi
Kevalanandakanda
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 Parama Karuna Pahudujana Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna Pahudujana Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Oh Nitai Gaurachandra
Nitai Gaurachandra
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra
Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna Pahudujana Nitai Gaurachandra. Everyone together.
Parama Karuna Pahudujana Nitai Gaurachandra
Again, louder.
Parama Karuna Pahudujana Nitai Gaurachandra.
The next line together. One more time together.
Savavatara Sarashiromani Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki
Jai
Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki
Jai
Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki Srila Prabhupada ki
Hare Krishna. Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki. Om Jnana Timidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Darati Swapadantikam. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prima Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratashe Namaha. Hare Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Sri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Their Lordship Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki. So we'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the devotees who would have joined us physically here or virtually over the last 3 sessions, 2 days before and this evening session. Also, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the wonderful servants of their Lordship, Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra, who would have engaged in abundant amount of services that their Lordship are providing, are offering, or giving all of us the opportunities in bringing some flowers or making some flower garlands for them, opportunity to bathe and dress their Lordship, opportunity to offer some foodstuff, some fruits, some sweets to them, opportunities to perform the Artik ceremony, offering of incense, ghee lamp, argya conch, a little piece of cloth, some flowers, some waving of the chamara or the peacock fan, or even the blowing of the conch. These are all opportunities. Those that get the opportunity by their blessings to perform kirtan and to speak about their glories in the form of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavat Puran, and other Vedic texts. These are all opportunities. Those who get an opportunity to give the remnants, their remnants, of foodstuff or sweets or fruits to any and everyone. Those of us that they afford the opportunity to go out on their behalf to give the holy name, to be instrumental in taking in the holy names in the streets and the towns and the villages. And somehow or the other, their Lordship Sri Sri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra was analyzing over the last 3 sessions that they are fond of taking us all over the place, and even places that is beyond our imaginations that we would have ever reached there to chant, or to give the holy name, to be instrumental in giving the holy name. When I joined 34, 35 years ago, we never thought that, we will get opportunity even to do kirtan in a popular Hindu mandir. What to speak of aristocratic homes, or that people will invite us specially to go and do hours and hours and hours of kirtan. And we never imagined that high-profile individuals, ambassadors and ministers and all these individuals, and highly qualified professionals will take a box of khichdi and walk around with it. Kitri Prashadam. and then we never thought that, this little milk fudge, powder milk fudge that we offer to their lordship, or their lordship have us make an offer to them, that would have become so popular all over. So much so that I was, after came out of the COVID-19 last week, a week and a half ago, I think, I had to go and do back a second test to see if it is positive or negative. So the African girl who was there to do the test, to conduct the test with me, obviously I had on my mask at that time, just before I had to pull on my mask for them to. So she said, this face looked knowing. So I was like, I on my mask. So I was like, how she knows me? I said, in Lenora Market, I know you from Lenora Market. There's a little girl. I used to wait there with my grandmother when you guys would have come to get that fudge. To get that fudge. To get that milk fudge. And sometime, she said she grandmother, sometime, she told me this, I never realized, these things. She said, and sometime we will come late, and that her grandmother will ready to leave the market, and she will hold her grandmother and cry that she have to wait for this, for us to come, and, she will walk behind us to get this fudge. So a simple thing like that, because we take prasadam every day and we take it for granted. It's available. It's no big deal. We get opportunities to clean their temples, to wash their wares, to take care of their devotees, to serve their devotees. And in so many ways, their lordship are bringing us together, just like Sachisuta Prabhu would have made an amazing point the other day or night, I think last night or Sunday maybe. I think last night, that how many families, how many of us their lordship bring together. And while he was speaking, I was analyzing everyone who were here, who we don't know, who are on Zoom, who are on Facebook, who are on YouTube, who are on Instagram, and, far and wide across the whole country, Caribbean, North America, India, all over the world. But more so, we can think about the Hare Krishna, ISKCON of Guyana, Hare Krishna Study Center family. So I was scanning around and thinking, who I would have known. And I could have only imagined that, of course, I would have known Sachisuta, that's my nephew. But almost no one else. Shuddha Prem Sachisuta. I can't believe, I can't imagine that I would have been in Mahaika Cane Grove. I would have never known Vishnu or Sanjaya or Sukhdev or Mataji, her Priya, and her wonderful son, who we shed tears when we hear his kirtan. We would have never known. It's all by their blessings, by their mercy. Uncle Roop are here. Who knows in which lifetime I would have ever reached Uncle Roop. I would have maybe live and die in Cane Grove. So this is the mercy, this is the power, this is the good fortune. This is extreme, extreme, extreme blessings, benedictions, compassion, mercy, that any single word, good fortune that fall on us. That we became so close, So much so that we take one another for granted. So much so that we even take one another cheaply. Like nothing, it doesn't mean anything. But if this 13th installation anniversary to their Lordship Sri Sri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra can really be an impetus to bring this fact to each and every one of us, that from here onward, as we journey together on the path of Krishna consciousness, on the path of devotional service that Srila Prabhupada so nicely bring and distribute all over the world, as an instrument in carrying out the order, the prediction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that His holy name will be sung, will be heard and chanted all over the world. And in that mood, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda is readily available. So as we go forward, it is each and every one of us responsibility to see to our own advancement in upliftment, progress in Krishna consciousness, and to learn the art, what it means to make advancement. We are getting the opportunities, yes, that their Lordship are providing for us. How many of us are really taking it, grab it with both hands, and learn the basic, how we keep inspiring ourselves and make advancement. And if you remember Sanatana Goswami in prison in Chaitanya Bhagavat or Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can remember, most of the seasoned devotees will remember, that Sanatana Goswami had this wonderful conversation with the jailkeeper. And what he said, if you free one from material imprisonment, or even the imprisonment of the Nawab, that you will be free from material entanglement. You will be liberated. And in those purport, in that part of those conversations, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will find Srila Prabhupada nicely mentioned that the way to be pushed in devotional service, the way to be helped in devotional service is to push others or to help others. That when Sri Sri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra saw, or they see, that any one of their servants are eager to help and push others, not to pull them down, but to push them up, to help them make advancement, then that or those individuals will be helped thousandfold. Thousandfold they will be helped. So much advancement those individuals will make. So great opportunities are coming, came and continue to come our ways. Let us all take full advantage of it. Let us all take it to heart and make it into something really, really lasting, really valuable, that our lives will be living testimony of Srila Prabhupada coming, of Lord Chaitanya's blessings, Lord Nityananda's compassion and mercy. So as we celebrate, and as we observe, and as we imbibe, just like the bhajan just now, and all the kirtan and all the presentation, we must apologize because all the few evenings and Sunday was so crystal clear, Rajrishi Prabhu, Shantavigra Prabhu last night, but for whatever reason, beyond Hari Kirtan and even His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami, We couldn't have do anything, but just to hear the voice of the pure devotee, of the Guru, the spiritual master. We may not be able to understand or imbibe everything, but just to hear the voice, just to hear the sound of His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami tonight, we can say what a blessing, what mercy, what causeless mercy coming our way. That even in the middle of pandemic, this is possible, but still we want to apologize that due to some, unstable internet connection, it was like that tonight. But it all goes to show that nothing is perfect in this world, and none of us are perfect also. And as we are eager and we will like everyone else to see with our own shortcoming and our imperfections, let us be more eager to overlook the shortcoming and flaw or faults, apparent faults in others, or apparent imperfections in others. Let us start to see the good. So as we move on, as we continue another year and engaging in service, this time is special. And as you can see, just over my right shoulder here, 125th. So it's still within that year that we are still celebrating the 125th anniversary of the founder of the Hare Krishna movement. So this year, 13th anniversary is, on the 125th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada. So I was imagining what 25 years from now will means, and where many of us will be, especially those of us with elderly bodies. And then, when we will be celebrating the 125th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada, we will be celebrating 38th anniversary. We will be celebrating 38th anniversary of Dear Lordship Sri Sri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra. So who will stand out in their service for 38 years? Who was here from 25th of January 2009, and that they will be here for the next 25 years, like rocks, like pillars. No matter what happens, they are dead set in serving and serving and serving and serving until their last final breath. And as Gauranga Mahaprabhu was there, take the body of Haridas Thakur in his hands, that such devotee or devotees will be received by Gauranga Mahaprabhu in a similar way. So this process is real, this process is practical, it is scientific, it is also direct in the sense that we can feel it at every step, at every moment. We can experience it. It is not that somebody have to come from outside to tell us, what it is. No. So let us enjoy the service to their Lordship. Let us recommit ourselves for another year. No matter what pandemic, what is the challenge, what is the difficulties, let us find opportunity to come and do some service. Just like Shantavigra Prabhu was saying, those who have been around for over 3, 4, 5 years, no one have to instruct us always to come and do something. No. Or at least let us ask, Prabhu, what can I do? I have 2 minutes, I have 5 minutes, what can I do? Okay, Prabhu, you can clean their their lordship temple room sponges and purify them so when their devotee come they can sit on clean mat. No problem. You can bring a garland for Srila Prabhupada. You can make some wick to offer. You can bring some incense. And so many different areas can expand. Almost unlimited. So again, we want to thank all those devotees, Rajrishi Prabhu for his presentation and his time last Sunday, Sandigan, Shantavigra Prabhu last night, and everyone else who would have joined us. I know many devotees would have wanted to participate physically here, but it is whatever it is with pandemic. Nevertheless, by the grace of internet, Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, all these social media platforms, we can actually be in our homes and still attend satsang. And you may have some wonderful cooks and servants of their lordship, like Radhakishore Prabhu and Partha Prabhu and Sanjaya Sachi Sutta, who will cook and take prasadam out. You know, sometimes people cannot come here for prasadam, so their lordship arrange their servants, they inspire their servants to cook, offer to them, and take prasadam out, just like today. Distribute prasadam, no problem. Give. So sometimes devotees can also call and say, Prabhu, if someone is coming my way, please drop some prasadam for me, no? Someone coming up to Mahaika or Enmore or Cane Grove or Mandripose, anyway, you can call and say, if the devotee is someone coming my way, please, bring some little prasadam from their lordship. And that will show our eagerness of wanting to taste the remnants of foodstuff that is offered, their prasadam, their remnants. We want to thank all the pujaris who would have done a wonderful job on the altar. Mother Haripriya to being here for, I don't know how Krishna arranged it, Nitai Gaurachandra arranged it, that she happens to be here for this celebration. Thank you very much, Mataji. It was wonderful to have you here. All the kirtanyas, the cleaners, the cooks, the servers. And if we fall short in any way, if we offend anyone, if any devotee would have offended you in any way, please don't take it serious. In the service line, sometimes we step on one another's toes, apparently. Intentionally, unintentionally, don't take it serious. They will come and serve you prasadam again, no problem. So let us do one Vanchakalpatarubhischa together. Vanchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. So we beg for forgiveness from all who I would have offended personally, or any devotee on behalf of all the devotees, Sachi Sutta, Radhakishore, Partha Prabhu, Sanjaya, Hari Kirtan, Madhavishaka, anyone, and all the devotees. If anybody would have felt anyway offended throughout this last 3 days of celebration, we please ask you to forgive one another. Don't take it serious. As we said, to err is human. It means we will make mistakes and we may harm or hurt someone due to our imperfections. It happens. Please don't take it serious. Let us all be forgiven to each and every one. So these few words we want to thank you, thank you, thank you. Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Anant Koti Vaishnavin ki, Jai Hare Krishna. So we'll conclude with the Shinga Pranam, this evening session. If anyone have to go, you can do so, no issue. If anyone have to go, please, you can go collect prasadam. If you want to honor prasadam here, you sit in a corner far from everyone else and you honor your prasadam nicely. Don't group up anywhere and have long conversation. If you do have to talk to someone, maintain your 6 feet distance apart at least. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Pralada Lada Tadain Hiranyakashi Purvaksha
Hiranyakashi Purvaksha
Hiranyakashi Purvaksha
Hiranyakashi Purvaksha
Shilatankarnakalai
Shilatankarnakalai
Ito Natsimo Parato Natsimo
Narsingha Parato Narsingha
Ito Natsimo Parato Natsimo
Narsingha Parato Narsingha
Yato 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 Natsimo
Yato Yamikato Narsingha
Yato 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 Natsimo
Yato Yato Yamikato Narsingha
Vahe Natsimo Hirahe Natsimo
Vahe Narsingha Hridaye Narsingha
Natsingamade Sharanam Prapari
Narasingha Madim Sharanam Prapadi
Narasingamade Sharanam Prapari
Narasingha Madim Sharanam Prapadi.
So when we do this, at the end of all of our functions, what this prayer means, what we are saying, we are begging, half man, half lion, Shri Narsingha Bhagavan, Shri Narsingha Dev, O my dear Lord Narsingha Dev, please protect our devotion. Please be the guardian, please, my dear Lord Narsingha Dev. It is so difficult to imbibe a fraction or a speak of a dust, a fraction of spiritual advancement. And we shouldn't want to lose that at any cost. So my dear all-powerful Narsingha Dev, please Narsingha Dev, protect the devotion of each and every one of us. Tava kara kamala vare naka abuta singa dalita hiranya kashipu anobringa ishabadita
Adhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Danamringa
Shina Singha
Narahari Rupa
Jaina Singha
Jagadisha Hare
Shina Singha Jaina Singha
Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Shina Singha Jaina Singha Jaya Jaina Singha
Singha Jaina Singha Jaya Jaina Singha
Shina Singha Jaina Singha Jaya Jaina Singha
Shina Singha Jaina
Shina Singha Re Nasimha Dev Jaya Nasimha Dev Nasimha Dev Jaya Nasimha Dev
Jaya Nasimha Dev Nasimha Dev Nasimha Dev Jaya Nasimha
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jai Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Nityananda Rama Nityananda Rama Nityananda Rama Gaura Hare Nityananda Rama Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Oh Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Nitai! Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Gaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra. Parama Karuna Nitai
Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Nitai Gaurachandra. Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol, Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur,
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya
Prabhupada. Prabhupada.
Shri Singha Bhagavan Ke Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ke Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Ke Srila Prabhupada Ki. All of you Ki. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.